billions of years ago, when the creation, when the evolution started, when we had the first creation, there was only one cell. And that cell multiplied into multiple cells. There was cell division, and then it led to multiple cells. And then it led to many more creations, many more lives on the earth. And that's how the evolution process started. So when you look at the human body, there are billions of cells in our body. There are just billions of cells. And each cell wants to communicate with other cells. There is a desire, there is an inherent desire to communicate, to talk, to engage, to collaborate, to interact, to cooperate. And the cells get confused when we stop communicating. So the cells in our body, they want to love each other. Every single cell in the body loves every other cell in our body. Not only that, every cell in my body loves every single cell in your body. So love and compassion is inherent in that. Unfortunately, I think when the human race has evolved and when we have progressed into the materialistic world, we have forgotten how to love. We have forgotten how to become compassionate. And that's where the cells have become dormant, because they have become absolutely confused. So when I hate Himanshuji, the cells in my body do not understand, why do I have to hate him? Why do I have to fight with him? Why do I have to quarrel with him? Because they only know the language of love and compassion, nothing else. So when I have animosity with him, when I have enmity with him, when I fight with him, they're confused. That's why they've stopped collaborating. They've stopped engaging. They've stopped interacting. Human beings, essentially, in that sense, have stopped telling stories. We have forgotten how to tell stories. So we need to teach people how to tell stories. You don't need a speaker like me to come and stand in front of you and talk about storytelling, because storytelling is so natural with every human being. But you have forgotten how to tell stories. I think Sushma was saying in the morning that we have forgotten to speak. The children, they speak a lot, but as we grow into adults, we just stop speaking. So this session is all about reminding us that we are storytelling animals. Storytelling comes to us naturally. It's inherent. We can do it seamlessly if we just make an effort. Stories carry the power to connect. Like the cells want to connect with each other. Through collaboration, through interaction, through engagement. The stories are a great medium to connect with people. Connect with people at an emotional level, at a mental level, sometimes at a spiritual level. It helps us establish connect between human beings. It helps us engage. Leaders can engage with the people. Managers and organizations can engage with people through stories. Social leaders can engage with their followers. People want to talk to people. That's what Sam was saying some time back. People want to talk to people. So story is a fantastic medium to connect and engage with people. Stories have the power to motivate. They have the power to persuade. That's how leaders persuade their followers to take action. That's how great sociologists, some of our great freedom fighters, they're able to inspire the nation. They're able to persuade the countrymen to get into action. Stories have the power to help you reflect. Take a pause and reflect on what the storyteller has just shared. Stories have the power to educate. So stories can be extremely, extremely, extremely powerful. And most importantly, stories can transform. So if you really want to bring about transformation, I think that's what Sam was saying, that outstanding storytellers can transform. So if you want to bring about transformation in your people, if you want to bring about transformation in your teams, if you want to bring about transformation in your society, in your neighborhood, transformation in yourself, stories are a powerful medium. And unfortunately, we've forgotten how to tell stories. This is what Henry Ford said. He said, don't give people what they want. If I asked people what they want, they would have told me that we want faster horses. He says, give people what they need. That's for Steve Jobs. I think had he asked people what do you want, they would have said we want better laptops. But he knew that people want the computing power in their smartphone devices and the handheld devices. He could see the future. He knew what people need. If you ask the passenger what you need out of a car, probably he would say, I would need a more luxurious car, which has even better features. But there are thought leaders in the industry who believe that even cars can be driverless in future. So give people what they need. So if you want to give people what they need, then you need to bring in stories. Stories which will inspire people. Stories which will get people to dream. Stories which will inspire people to dream the most incredible, unrealistic future. Unbelievable, incredible future. So that's the power of storytelling. So how do you build an interesting story? And the objective of sharing some of this with you is also to have some of you come here towards the end of the session and share some interesting stories. I'm not saying this, Sham is saying this. He's saying this session is all about you. It's not about the speaker. So if it's about you, then some of you will have to actually come back towards the end of my session and then share some stories, using some of the techniques that we're going to talk about and some of the examples that we're going to look at. So storytelling is all about starting with the normal, which is absolutely normal, everything is fine. Then comes the explosion, the big explosion. Then comes a new normal. Let's look at an example. Kanak and I used to be good friends until this morning. Everything was normal. This morning I met him and I told him, Kanak, I love your sister. He said, Surya, I will shoot you. Don't even say that. How dare you say that? The explosion happened. Then I said, Kanak, hold on. I love your sister like my own sister. Oh, that is okay, that is fine. If you love your sister, my sister as your own sister, that is fine. So then we got back to the new normal. Example of storytelling. Short story, it carries a message. It has a central idea. The idea is about perception. The way I perceive love, the way Kanak perceives love, that is different. So difference in perception leads to conflict, leads to explosion. Then you need to find a way to overcome that the confusion or overcome that conflict. That's a fictitious story, by the way. But idea was to to give you an example of how you can really build stories. And a story which does not carry a central idea or theme is not a story, it's just comedy, it's joke. It's probably just fun, you're just cracking a joke. But if you really want to tell a powerful story, it has to have a central idea. So it has to have a beginning, it has to have the think of action, which can be struggle, which can be conflict, which can be explosion, which can be whatever. Remember that young man who was trying to reach out to me. Everything was normal. We were good friends back in Bhubaneswar. Everything was fine. But I moved to Bangalore, and imagine the struggle that young man had to go through to reach out to me. And he strived for about 4 weeks to establish a connect with me, just because he was pronouncing my name not in the right way. And then we got back to the new normal. We found a way to overcome that challenge, that struggle, that difficult moment, that ordeal, and then finally we got back to the new normal. So that's all about storytelling. Start with the normal, create the explosion, and then go back to the new normal. Because people want the new normal. People want a happy ending. People want a glorified ending. And the brain has a capacity to release some very positive hormones when we experience something, when we have a happy ending. So that's the power of storytelling. And that's how we can build a great story. Let me share with you an interesting story. I'm sure you would love it. Long, long ago, once upon a time, there was a forest. In that forest, there were two very good friends. A huge, gigantic elephant and a small, tiny little bird. Huge, gigantic elephant and a small, little, tiny bird. Bosom friends, they were intimate friends, they loved each other, they could not stay away from each other even for a few moments. One day in the morning, the little bird wakes up and finds the elephant in a very sad state. The little bird could not accept that. She went to the elephant and then asked him, "My dear friend, what has happened to you? Why do you look so sad? Why do you look so cheerless? How can I help you?" The elephant said, nothing has happened to me. Don't worry, it's all right. I'm absolutely fine. The little bird said, "No, you are my best friend. I am your best friend. I know every emotion of yours. I know that something is wrong with you. I know that you're not happy. Tell me, how can I help you?" The elephant said, "Well, I'm sad, that's true, but that's nothing that you can do about it. So don't worry, I'll be all right in some time." The little bird said, "No, that's not acceptable to me. You have to tell me. You have to tell me what has happened to you." The elephant said, "Look, when I got up this morning today, I suddenly realized that you, my dear friend, can fly in the sky whenever you want to fly. And I know that I can never fly in the sky. That's why I felt a little sad. Became a little envious of you, because I knew that I could never fly like you. But don't worry, I'll be all right in some time." The little bird said, "No. If you are feeling unhappy, I cannot accept that. So I'll have to make you feel happy. And this is the reason why you're not happy. This is such a small thing. You can fly." The elephant said, "You are rubbing salt on my wound. You know that I can never fly. And you're telling me you are having fun. You are kidding me?" Little bird said, "No, I'm not kidding you. Just do as I say. Just follow my instruction." The small little bird went on top of the branch of a tree out there and then started flapping its wings. And a small little feather dropped on the ground. It came down to the earth and picked up that feather in its beak and put it on one of the ears of the elephant and said, "My dear friend, now just follow my instructions." Elephant said, "Okay, what do I need to do?" The little bird said, "Just flap your wings, flap your ears, and you should be able to fly." Believe it or not, my dear, just hold your breath. I'm going to tell you what happened next. The gigantic elephant started flapping its ears, and it started flying. It flew. It started flying over the forest. In the forest of West Bengal, flew all the way up to Kolkata, came all the way up to Salt Lake City center of the Royal Bengal Room, flew all over the place, the city of Calcutta, flew and then went back to the forest, landed on the ground. It was overjoyed, extremely, extremely happy. He said, "My dear little bird, I could fly today because of you. I would have never been able to do that all my life. Just because of you, I could fly." The little bird said, "What did I do?" Elephant said, "Your feather. You gave me the feather. You put it on my ears." The bird said, "No, look at the ground. The first time you flapped your ears, it fell on the ground. I didn't do anything. You could fly because you wanted to fly. You were able to fly because you had a burning desire to fly. You could make it because you had a strong desire to take off. And that's why you could take off. It's not because of my faith." Here ends the story. What's the central idea of this story?
As long as the feather was strong belief in oneself. As long as the feather was there, the elephant was very confident.
Confidence. If you have the confidence, then you can make it. What else?
Believe.
Belief.
You can do what you can think.
You can do what you think.
What you can think.
Trust. Confidence.
The elephant needed a dummy to believe that it can.
Sorry, elephant.
The elephant needed a dummy.
Elephant
feather.
is dummy to believe that it can.
Elephant,
So sometimes you need that. Okay. Sorry, let's say something.
elephant must have a friend like that one.
You need a friend like that. Interesting. That's a very interesting point. This story is about leadership. Great leaders can bring out extraordinary results out of ordinary people. Great leaders can bring out almost impossible outcomes about possible people, about ordinary people. That's the power of leadership. But that's only about the central idea. What else is about the story? The story had characters. There was an elephant, there was a bird. What else? It had a setting, the forest, the dense forest, mountains. Then also in the setting we also had the city of Calcutta, the Salt Lake city center. So it had a beautiful setting. What else the story had? It had emotion. Isn't it? What else the story had? Excitement. There's so much of excitement. Excitement on the part of the elephant, excitement on the part of all of us. When we got to hear about the story, there was drama. But not drama like this. There was surprise. The moment I told you that, hold your breath, I'm going to tell you what happened next. So all of you are dying, maybe, I don't know, just imagining. But many of us are just dying to know what happened next. I think that all I would like to remind what Sam said in the morning, the longer is your pause, the more intelligent you appear. That's what he said in the morning. So the pause to tell you, to get you excited, to drive you crazy, to drive you mad, it also had an element of surprise. And it also had a central idea. All the essential ingredients of a great story. So now we know how to build a story. Now we know what are the essential components of storytelling. When I talked about Kanak's sister, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of excitement, there was surprise, there were emotions involved. Small little story which did not even last 30 seconds had all of these ingredients, or most of these. So storytelling is not about telling your stories, as Sam said in the morning. It's about showing it, not just through actions, but also by drawing out the emotions, the feelings, the element of surprise, the drama, the setting, bringing out the character to the center stage. That's about storytelling. So as we move towards the end of my session, I would like you to kind of think about your story that you're going to share with all of us in some time. Now, let's look at another story. This story is about UP.